Hey everybody, Don Georgievich here with Job Interview Tools. I hope you're doing well today. In this video, I want to teach you how to plan your follow-up strategy. So here's how the interview process is supposed to work. We send out resumes. We get called for job interviews. We go back for second and third interviews, and we get the offer. That's basically it, or at least that's how they're supposed to work. But they don't always work out that way. And there's a lot of reasons for that, reasons which you're never going to know. So what happens when you go through the entire interview process, everything was great, and you're expecting the job offer, but it never comes? What do you do then? And the interviewer might have even been so bold as to tell you that, you know what, we think we're going to offer you a job. You can expect an offer from us within the next week. And you're like, wow, that's great. So you go home and you sit, and 1 week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. What happened? Well, now you don't know what to do because they said they were going to offer you a job, but it didn't come through. Did they change their mind? Did they not like me? What happened? Well, we don't really know. So that's where you want to have a planned follow-up strategy. Because right now you have a lead. Consider a job interview a lead. It's a hot lead. If they're interested in you, then you want to nurture that lead. You want to stay in contact with them. You don't want them to forget about you. So here's what I mean by a planned interview follow-up strategy. Make sure that you have your interviewer's contact information. Make sure you have their phone number. Make sure you have their email address, and you have plenty of opportunity to get this. If you've already had 1 or 2 interviews with them, you should have asked for this information at the end of the interview. Just say, hey, Mr. Jones, can I get your email address, or can I have your business card, or can I have your phone number? Now that you have their contact information, the next thing you want to do is ask them and say, hey, do you mind if I follow up with you in maybe 10 days or a week or 2 weeks? Now you have to ask this question around their time frame. So now that you have their contact information, the thing that you want to do is start planning your follow-up strategy. And so what I like to do is I ask them, flat out, I say, when do you plan on making a hiring decision? And if they tell me, well, we hope to hire somebody within the next 2 weeks, then what I'll say is, do you mind if I follow up with you next week? Do you mind if I give you a call or send you an email to touch base? Certainly, they're going to say yes. Now, on the other hand, if I ask them when they plan to make a hiring decision and they say, well, hopefully within 6 weeks, then what I'll do is I'll say, do you mind if I follow up with you in 3 or 4 weeks? Do you mind if I give you a call, or do you mind if I email you? And by asking for permission, now you don't feel bad calling them. Because in the interview they said, no, we don't mind if you give us a call at all. So now you can call them up and you can ask them questions about the status of the position. This is what I mean by a planned follow-up strategy. But you need their contact information, and you need to ask them for permission to follow up with them in the interview, and you get a sense of their timeline of when they plan to make a decision, so you can time your follow-up call around or before they plan to make a decision, because you don't want to follow up after they plan to make a decision, because then it'll be too late. You want to follow up with them before they make a decision so that you can further influence them with all of your greatness about why they should hire you. So, if you are expecting a job offer, if they told you we're going to give you an offer next week, and let's say that offer hasn't come yet, what you want to do is call them. Pick up the phone and call them. Don't email them. Don't text them. That's email and text just cheap and easy. Anybody can do it. If you are working with a hot lead, a company that wants to hire you, they want to pay you money to come and work for them, they deserve a phone call. So pick up the phone and give them a call. And if you get their voicemail, you can leave them a voicemail, but plan this out. Plan out what you're going to say, because chances are you're probably not going to get them directly, but if you do, plan out what you're going to say. Write it out. Just get yourself a pen, get some paper, and say, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, I'm following up on this position, or whatever your script is, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to know. Write it out. Have it in front of you That way, when you call, you won't look like a deer in the headlights and you won't be at a loss for words. You'll know exactly what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and you'll know what you're going to say if they pick up the phone, and you'll know what you're going to say if you get voicemail. And you can leave them a nice, well-planned, well-thought-out voicemail that you've already scripted out ahead of time. Generally, I don't like to leave voice messages. But I also don't like to keep calling and waiting for them to pick up because their caller ID is going to show my number. And I don't want them to see, Don Georgievich called 10 times and he hung up. He never left a message. That doesn't look good for me. So I would encourage you, maybe call them once, maybe twice, and try to get them on the phone. If you can't, then be prepared with a nice, well thought out voicemail script and leave them a nice message and encourage them to call you back and tell them that, hey, I know you had mentioned that you were going to send me an offer. I haven't received it yet. I just wondered what the status of the position is and if anything has changed or something like that. It's not too hard. It's a very simple conversation. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you get the job. I'm pulling for you on this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. If you would like more detailed insights from me, head on over to jobinterviewtools.com/top10. Download my free top 10 questions guide. This will put you on my preferred subscriber email list, and you'll get direct insights from me that I only share in email. Stay on your game, my friend. Remember, there is no one else like you, and there will never be. This is your greatest advantage. And the world needs that special gift that only you have. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, this is Don. While you're still here, subscribe to my channel and watch the next video that I have queued up for you.